The newest addition to Polar watches is the Polar Pacer Pro, and this one is the first Polar sport watch that I actually like. And in today's video, I will tell you why. Hey folks, my name is Leonard and you are watching the Product Reviewer. So the Polar Pacer Pro is a new mid-range sport watch that you can buy from the Polar store for about 300 euros. And it's available in 4 different colors. Now you can get it in white, gray, blue, and in this reddish purple colorway. Well, actually it is snow white, carbon gray, midnight blue, and autumn maroon, even though I've never seen any blue during the night. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about the specs. With its 45mm case, this watch is just about the perfect size for both women and men. We get a 1.2-inch MIP color display with a resolution of 240 by 240 pixels. So even on a very bright day, you can still easily read the screen. Just one thing that you have to know about the screen, that it has no touch functions, and all the navigation is done with the 5 buttons that you have on the side of your watch. The upper and lower right button are for scrolling up and down, and the middle one is to select, or by long pressing it, it takes you straight to your workouts. The lower left button takes you to your applications and back, and the upper turns the backlights off and on, or unlocks the screen. As for the materials, we have a standard plastic case with Gorilla Glass for the protection and an aerospace aluminum bezel that actually looks like any other aluminum bezel. As for last, this watch is water resistant up to 5 ATM, has built-in GPS, Galileo, QZSS, and GLONASS, an always display, and a smooth silicone strap. Okay, let's talk about the sport features and the accuracy of it. First of all, this watch has over 130 different sport modes to choose from. So you have basically every sport mode out there covered, like walking and running, swimming in water sports, extreme sports, and ball sports, just to give you a small sample. While you're in the app, you can choose up to 20 different sport profiles to have on your sport watch at all times, plus every single of these sport modes is customizable. So you can set it to track automatic laps every mile or so. You can customize your heart rate zones or the workout display, so you can have up to 4 different metrics shown on your display. So for example, for my running mode, I have my distance, time, pace, and heart rate. But you also have a whole bunch of other things to play around with, like the back to start feature, auto pause, and the GPS grade. Now on the watch you may not have as many options, but over there you still have a few things like your power settings. You can share your heart rate with other devices, backlight, training suggestions, race pace, interval timer, countdown timer, and again the back to start feature, which really comes in handy when you're running in new places and you don't know the area very good and you're trying to find a way back home. As for the accuracy of the built-in GPS and the heart rate, guys, this watch is the first watch from Polar that I actually like. As you may know, I only have problems with the heart rate accuracy on all of the other Polar sport watches that I've tested so far, and this one right here is quite impressive. So I compared it to my Garmin chest strap, and it wasn't that far off. On average, the watch gave me an average heart rate of 116 and a max of 149 with 205 burned calories, while the chest strap gave me an average heart rate of 120 beats per minute and a high of 156. So not that far off, and I mean, we're still talking about a mid-range smartwatch and at the high-end Vantage V2 that costs up to 500 bucks. Now, as for the built-in GPS, it's not the best, but it's not bad either. The lines of the GPS are never 100% accurate and you're always a little bit off track when looking at it, especially in the city. Now in the park, the lines definitely came a little bit closer to where I actually was. So overall speaking, I would give the built-in GPS a 8 out of 10. Now folks, if you got that far into the video, make sure to hit the like button right now and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget the notification bell to never miss out on any new content. And now back to the video. Okay, let's talk about the battery life of the Polar Pacer Pro. Now Polar states that this watch lasts about 7 days on normal usage, 100 hours in a training power saving mode, and 35 hours with full GPS and heart rate enabled. Now I've had this bad boy on my wrist for the last 4 days and I lost about 50% with 1.5 hours of training with full GPS enabled. And yeah, that's what you get. As for some more features, now this watch is not only the perfect training buddy, but it also keeps track of your sleep. It tells you exactly how long you've been in your deep and light sleep phase, as well as in your REM and awake time. It also gives you a score between 1 and 100 based on your sleep quality. On the watch you can also track your daily activities with the amount of steps you took, burned calories, and your active time. You have the usual cardio load status, your current heart rate, your training history, and your suggested workouts. It even tells you how to do these exercises with a little animation, and that's quite cute. As well as we have a small 3-day weather forecast, your weekly training summary, and your music player. Now, since we have no internal storage, we cannot download any music to this watch to listen to offline. And the only things that we can do is to skip a track, go back a track, play and pause, and adjust the volume. If we press the lower button, we get right to our applications. So on top, we can start our training, and if you scroll further down, we get to all of our notifications, but we cannot reply to any messages. And we have Serene. Serene is a guided breathing session between 2 and 20 minutes, and we can even set how long our inhales and exhales are supposed to be. A quicker exhale and inhale has a different effect on your body than a long and deep breath. Next up, we have the Strava Relax segment and fueling. Fueling is one of my favorite parts of Polar watches. This feature reminds you on longer workout sessions to keep hydrated and high on carbs to hold your energy output level. And as for last, we have the usual timers, different tests like walking, cycling, running, and the fitness test. Now the settings are normally not worth mentioning, but on the Polar watch, there are a few things that you can do. Now you can switch between a digital and an analog watch. You can change the accent colors, and you can choose which watch face you want to have. So you can toggle them off that you don't need and the ones that you need. Now before we get to the end of the video, there are a few things that you just have to know. Now setting up this watch is very easy. Just unwrap it, charge it, install the Polar Flow app and sync it with your smartphone, and after just a few minutes you're ready to go, and that's it. Now one thing that you just have to know is after a few hours of using this watch, I lost connection to my smartphone and it never came back. So I turned off and on the Bluetooth, I turned off the watch and turned it back on, I turned off my smartphone and turned it back on, and it didn't work. The only thing that worked is that I had to sync it with the cable to my computer and use the Polar Flow app over there, and that worked. And the other thing is to reinstall the Polar Flow app, and that's kind of annoying to always have to do that just to sync or just to get the connection back to your smartwatch. But it's always a thing with Polar watches, as far as I know. And folks, that's already it for the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. And with that being said, see you next time. Peace.